Alrighty guys, just checking in with you on a Wednesday. Stopped after work. I'm going to do a little bit for about an hour or so. I am here. I'm going to put the cluster in the truck. I think I might have figured out the wiring stuff, but I haven't confirmed it yet. So my suspicions are going to stay in my head for a second. Put the cluster in the truck. I'm going to hook up the battery. I want to see what works. So that's my main goal. I might pull this turbo oil drain off and drill out the hole, because this is a journal bearing turbo, and it's got an orifice in it for like a ceramic ball bearing. So need to fix that too. Gonna get to work. Probably gonna add this to the weekend video, but I'll show you some stuff when I get done. Alrighty, so we got the fuse box kind of figured out, got the cluster in the truck, battery hooked up. This key's a little sticky. So we got a little power in here. Some things are waking up for the first time in, who knows, maybe 5 or more years inside this cab. So I'm not sure. I just had the dash lit up and the lights on. Not sure why they're not coming on anymore. But I was playing around with these controls down here. They weren't really working. And then it went into this mode right here. So I wasn't too optimistic on anything really happening, but it's cool to see some lights start coming on. This thing's alive for the first time again. Alrighty guys, coming back to you. It's Friday afternoon here in the shop. Gonna work for a little bit on my way home. So thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching. I'm really appreciating all the channel growth that I've had in the last couple weeks. Above 100 subscribers. You guys are interacting with the videos. It's really encouraging. So not only is working on this thing sometimes encouraging, but so is the feedback I get from you guys. So got a couple things on the list for the weekend. Not necessarily all of this is going to get done, but I want to get the rear diff all buttoned up, get the friction modifier and the fluid in there. So I need to get fluid. Turbo feed orifice, I'm going to teach you guys something a little bit about that I learned that maybe you guys don't know. I need to check out the SRS module underneath the driver's seat, because I think that's what's causing my electrical problems. I'd like to get the battery tray in, get the wiper plug plugged in, and see if the OBD2 has what it needs to pull a base file out of it so I can send it off to my tuner. So last thing on there, which is a pipe dream, is getting the transfer case all figured out. I need to just dedicate one day to doing that and leave everything else off the table and do that. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna do the orifice on the turbo feed first and show you guys that, and then we'll come back and figure out what's next. Alrighty, so on these guys, there's one thing that you gotta pay attention to with these China turbos, China flanges. Hopefully it comes off. It's happy where it was. As you're looking at this, you can see that there's a very, very small hole in this. So this is a 4AN line. Let's get some light on. There you go. You can see just a tiny little hole in there, pinhole almost. So that's a 4AN line, and there's just a tiny little restrictor orifice right there. So the problem with this is this restrictor plate is intended for a ceramic ball bearing turbo. Now, I'm not an expert, but I believe that this generic size in here is enough oil for a ceramic ball bearing turbo. This is a journal ball bearing turbo. Now, there's a lot of people that believe that there's no such thing as too much oil. So even if you have a ceramic ball bearing turbo, you could open this up. I know that I have a journal bearing turbo, and generally turbo manufacturers recommend and require that this is much bigger than it is. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a drill bit and drill this guy out a little bit so that we make sure that our turbo has plenty of oil going into it. Alrighty, so here we are. You can see the hole is drilled out, much bigger. From what I read from VS Racing, they said use a 3/32 drill bit. So that's what I did. And hopefully that will take care of any oil starvation issues. We'll get this guy thrown back on here and move on to the next thing. Alrighty, next thing off the list, pulled out the old wiper wiring harness connector and got the new one in. I didn't pull the whole cowl. I just kind of worked on it from underneath here, used a pick to push up on the clip on the bottom, push in on the clip, and got the new one plugged in. So that was kind of quick and easy. Didn't want to take the whole wiper cowl off, didn't see much point in that. So I gotta get these two clips back on and put that little donut in the firewall. Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Alrighty guys, checking back in with you. Got a couple things done. Got the paint out because I wanted to get the battery tray in the truck, and noticed how rusty it was. It was pretty nasty, so I threw a quick coat of the KBS rust coating on to make it look nice. You know, you're never gonna see it, but I don't like rusty stuff, so got that all looking good. And then I got real carried away and did the nice rusty bracket that was in the engine bay, and touched up a couple things on the front of the frame. So I think that's about all I'm going to get done for today. I have a couple notes on here. I need to get some friction modifier and some more fluid so I can do this one. Need to get the SRS module out of the cab. Battery tray, we were working on that. Now, the one thing I ran into, the OBD2 wire on this cab has 4, or the plug has 4 wires. And my 01 outside has 5, which that might be because it's an 01. So I need to check on the cab if it's a 4 or 5, and if it's 5, where's my missing wire? So wiper cowl clip that comes from the cab, need to get an extra one because it's missing one right in there. And T-case seems like pipe dream at this point, so not exactly sure. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I'll check in with you guys when I'm here next. Alrighty guys, checking back in with you after work today. Got a couple things done. Got my to-do list over here, still got some things to figure out on it. One of the biggest things, got the battery tray that we painted last time installed, looks pretty good. Ready to hang a battery off of it. I ran into a snag with the SRS module and I want to talk you through something. And the last thing is, I think I figured out the wiring issue, discrepancy that we were having on the cab. So let me flip you around. All right, so the wiring on this cab, the only thing I haven't exactly figured out is we got this 7-pin plug right here, and this is a 5-pin plug going into the truck. So I need to sort that. But the good news is this plug right here and this one right here, which are 2 of the 3 extras, and then the third extra is this one that I depin. These do not get used on this truck because this is for the push button 4-wheel drive system. So I kind of noticed that by these stranded wires that are together, which are always wheel speed sensors on GM trucks. And this going together told me that there's something to do with wheel speed. You can see we got wheel speed down in here, which goes underneath right here. and that goes to here. So that's how the factory harness was. It had wheel speed going into this sensor, so I know that these guys need to get pinned together. So I think I got this sorted. I spent about an hour and a half the other day looking at, that's ground distribution, but here's the four-wheel drive system on a wiring diagram. Here's our 3-wire, and so that's supposed to go to the encoder motor, which we do not have on this truck. And then here's your front and rear wheel speed sensors, all going to four-wheel drive system. So I think we got that figured out. We don't have to worry about that. That is not a concern. What is a concern of mine now is I grabbed the SRS module from the other truck and attempted to plug it in. And this guy is a little bit of a weird design. It is got 2 prongs at the top here and 2 on the bottom and 1 in each corner. So you can see there's one adjacent to the ones in the corner on the top and the bottom. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but there's ones down in the bottom corner down here, but in the top corner, I know this is getting really hard to see. I probably could unplug it or unbolt it from the floor, but in the top corner, there's not 2 like there is in the bottom here. So moral of the story is I think this connector is wrong. I think this dash may be from an extended cab or a crew cab that has more airbags, and I think that's why we're running into issues here. So that's the next snag with this. I need to go to the cab back in my yard, in my backyard, and see what's going on with this connector and see if it looks the same as this one or not, because I futzed with it for about 10 minutes trying to get it to plug in. It just will not plug in. And I had noticed that the old SRS module that I pulled out, which is growing lots of things, well, that one does have both of them. So not exactly sure what's going on there, but I need to take a look and see why mine's not plugging in. So moral of the story is we got some stuff done. We're checking stuff off the list. But next time you see me, hopefully I'm tearing down a transfer case or getting the front end on this truck. Haven't decided, but those are one of the 2 next steps. So I really appreciate the views. You guys killed it on the fluid film video that I recently posted. I was pretty happy with the results on that one. Like 1,500 views in like 4 or 5 days or something like that. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But I really appreciate the support. Any subscriptions, if you guys leave me a like, I'd really love it. If you see anything or got any questions, leave a comment. Be glad to get to them either in the next video or in the comment section. So until then, go work on your stuff. I appreciate you, but peace.